So in this vid, I'm going to be removing the air conditioning accumulator from my car, and we're going to be inspecting the turbocharger just to find out it's exactly as I predicted it was going to look. So right before the video, I just want to give a heads up. I had a different lens on my camera than I do right now as I'm filming this intro, and the autofocus I had set to always on, and it's a very noisy lens and it doesn't like to keep focus, so it's spazzing out for the first half of the video until I turn that off. I'll probably be using my gooder lens, which I didn't want to do because I don't want to get dirty, but I'll be using it so it's not affecting you guys' footage and stuff. But again, just giving a heads up, at the beginning of the video, I'm sorry, but you'll hear a lot of clicking of my autofocus lens going crazy. But yep, alright, see you guys later. So something that you might see that looks a little different is the wheels are back on it. That's right, I put the suspension back together, but the wheels are back on it so I can at least get the car not on the grass anymore. So, you know, I could probably push it farther back because my parents want to do some stuff to the driveway. I cleaned up the engine bay. I tied, you know, a lot of the wires together so nothing's just hanging everywhere. So now I'll be removing that air conditioning condenser and possibly that motor mount, because I know they have to get replaced on that. And the air conditioning don't work, and that's a big thing, just chilling in the engine bay. Oh, it's been so long. I'll probably be making some custom boost gauge something to go here, down, maybe in front. Because I mean, it's like you got to the top of the windshield wiper, so that what's that, like 1.5 inches? So I can build a gauge cluster that goes across. I'll probably do it right here for like boost oil, stuff like that, and then I'll probably get a gauge pod. Also, again, I'm 6'2". Seats pretty close all the way up. Also, one thing I did notice is the steering, the key's not in, locks. And they lock at an angle, so no one can really steer your car. And then you put it to first position and obviously you move it. And we got a 6-speed get rag swapped in here. We got first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Check that out. I don't know what the cables look like when I do that. Gotta pinch. I don't know if I got them on camera, but I attempted to. Alright, so that's in there. Get closed up again for eternity. Oh, watch that. Ooh, dirty hands on cover. But again, so we got wheels on it, so it's gonna be getting moved. And obviously everything's ice, so it's not gonna be fun to move it. I'll probably get my dad's truck, put it in 4-wheel low, and just pull it back. I mean, it's on the ramp, so I gotta jack it up, take it off the ramp, put it on the ground. Also have things underneath it, so like the bumper and you know, crash bar, all that stuff. I have it this high so I can get the gas tank out, because the gas tank needs a fuel pump. So not urgent, but it could use a fuel pump in the future. So let's start checking out what we need to do here. So there's this accumulator. I'm gonna call it a condenser. I think there's, so how do I get to those? Those are T-bits. There's 2 of them. I assume it's a clamp. Yeah, it pulls back, slides off, and you pull this out of the way. So, let's see. How does it come off? There's this bolt with like a bushing here, some wire goes down to the wheel well. Some big electrical connector, which goes, this big electrical connector down here on the chassis goes up to here, which also goes across. So that's good to know. If I wanted to disconnect all this, you have to disconnect all these sensors, all these grounds, that connector, and then you can move this out. No, there's another one. There's another one of those little things. I don't know what these things are. There's 2 of them. These might be airbag sensors, possibly. I don't want to find out. So, and then here's an O2 sensor plug that I forgot to unplug when I pulled the motor out. I hope that's still okay, because it yanked the entire cat over and had it was kind of sketchy. And then there's inside the cat, for y'all wondering, it's perfectly fine still. Here's some vacuum lines. I'll probably take this off this clip here, so I can get some more room. I don't even know if I'm putting this back. I think I'm just going to cut this off with an angle grinder right at the edge. I don't think I'm putting an AC back in this car. And if I want to, I can just get a new accumulator, or I can get someone to weld it back. But the new accumulator, I don't think it's too expensive. So this AC system doesn't even work. So here's a condensate drain for all that we're looking where those are. But yeah, let's get this unplugged. This is Titan hand only. That goes to a quick connect down there with all the fuel hearts and stuff are on this side. You could easily fit a drive shaft back there. Here's a clutch line. It's actually surprised me when it was rubber. Transmission control. This is the engine harness for the transmission side, and then battery hooks, fuse box. So yeah, let's get the T-bit. Let's figure out how to remove this out of here. And the sensor's already broken, so. Alrighty, so that connector, the blue one, with the white and blue/gray wire, blue/purple, goes to this solenoid of some sort for the ignition system, I assume. Now I'll be getting to those T. This one was, yeah. So this bolt was a T30, and so now we're gonna try and get those two in the back. Unplug this green wire, which goes to this green, and it's like a green-blue wire and black wire, and this is the pressure sensor on the condenser. All this harness is so trashed. Oofa doofa. Stay. So yeah, we'll get those two out, and then we'll remove this thing out of here. I kind of want to know why there's a liquid in it. Looks like orange / some other thing. Here's the accumulator. I'm gonna call it an accumulator. Maybe it's a condenser. I think it's called an accumulator. There are the bolts, also T30s. I'm gonna knock this clamp off. I'm not gonna be able to get it out though because it's. Aww. Alright. So I'll take these hoses off of it. Nah, I'll leave them on. I just gotta take this bracket off here. Either cut these welds, which I could do, or I can just cut the entire thing off. I say cut the welds. So at least if I want, I could weld this back on, which I doubt I'm going to, and then I have to get a piece of metal, probably a chunk of aluminum, put over that, so it's not holding these back. Yeah, look, there's like a liquid in it. I think it's frozen. Is it a frozen? Yeah, it's a frozen liquid. That is pretty weird. Very weird, actually. Huh. So, now that's out of the way. You gotta, take this off. So I'll go whip out an angle grinder, headphones, and I'll get this out of here. Alright, so I got it off. I did grind a little bit into the Velcro accumulator. I'm not too worried about that because it's still thick. But I have to grind this down. I'll probably use a file, and then I'll put that piece back on and put this back on. Or I can, again, just take this entire thing off, but I don't really want to do that. Again, I can literally just take those two baffles out right there and probably just bend it off. But me, I like clearing things, and I don't have a hacksaw with me. If I had a hacksaw, I would 100% cut this off. I'm just gonna file it and then put this back on. So she's cleaned out the best. I think I'm gonna clean her up. So I'll put this back on, and I'll be right back. Alright, so there was this clip here which connects to the fuel line and holds it right on this bolt. I'm working on cutting this down here. I gotta get this Phillips head out, pull these lines back for the brakes. I'll probably pull this one out too, just so that it's easier to get out, and then I should just be able to pretty much lift this straight up and out and then throw it away. Because again, I am going to be making a section probably coming from this corner straight up to all the way up to the top, across and back down, and this is going to be all in tape. So when I have the actual motor rebuilt, that's when we'll detail the engine bay and paint it and make it look all pretty. Okay, so because this had a weird like zip tie assembly on it that broke, I remade it with 2 zip ties because I didn't have a long enough one. And it pretty much goes around the cables. Like it goes inside between these two, back around, it's, you can see maybe, it goes inside, around the back around, loops. And this brake line doesn't want to stay in it, so I might have to be getting a clip. But again, she's going to get a nice little wall of heat protection. So obviously your turbo is right here, you know, pretty close to the actual wall itself. So I'll be getting tape, probably just going over this edge so that it holds it together. And you can see where it's thicker, it's where more heat is, and thinner where less heat is. The thicker helps. And this is all, see how thick this back was? Maybe. This is like the back. It's puffy, but it's not crazy puffy. Like closer to the turbine side, puffier. Exhaust side, not too puffy. I have these knockout holes, you know, if you want to knock something out. But getting puffier up top. So, yeah. Cool. I turned off autofocus because it's kind of annoying me. But yeah, I think that's not about it for in here for now. So I don't really need to do much else. I don't know if you can really see down that cat. That cat's perfect. It's all like brand new, but it appears to be anyway. I'm gonna bring the turbo inside, take that apart again and inspect it, because I do know that, yep, well, it didn't look pretty good last time. Oh, this is where this thing went. Didn't look pretty good last time I checked it, so I'm just gonna grab the keys, pull the trunk, and how dirty's my door? I hate having dirty paint, especially when the paint's white, you know? There we go. There's the heat shield, starter, exhaust manifold, turbo assembly. I took it apart, obviously. I put it right back. But charge pipe. Overwhelmed. This bracket just yeah. So this is obviously an exhaust heat shield bracket. These are a pain, honestly. Whoever designed this specific bracket, suck a dick. Bottom one is a pain because they don't connect it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to saw right through it with a hacksaw when I get one here, so I can just slide it off, because it would be so much easier instead of having to remove the manifold with the solid. Genius, whoever designed that. There's a wastegate, everything's just chilling. You know, let me see if I can grab it without dying. I'm gonna do 2 hands for this shit. Hold on. I'm grabbing the turbo. It's decently heavy. It's not crazy. I put it on a block. I don't want to put it on just in the snow. Oh yeah. It's such a baby turbo. It's like so weird. And then here's a coolant line for it. I'll take that with it. I want to get more paper towels. Here's the gasket completely blown out. Leave that in here. I'll take this upper coolant hose. This goes to the, so there's like a water harness around the engine. This connects to it, and then this is the coolant feed to the turbo. The turbo, as it comes off, I replace this elbow, comes across and down. This is where it clips onto the valve cover. That's the top coolant line if you have a turbo model. So yeah, the exhaust manifold bolts and nuts, or these just the bolts. Those are bolts. What are these ones? Those are the manifold ones. These are the shields. And then this is more like for body panels and stuff. Oop, I almost just stepped on that. Yeah, let me snag these so I don't lose them, number one. Yeah. Nice. I'll leave these shields in the car, bring the turbo inside, and check that out. I might take that upper down pipe off. The upper O2 housing, if I call it correctly, in its correct name. Put this down. Grab this butch. Grab this big. Oh, here are the cap bolts. I already had them on there. Good, because otherwise I probably would have forgotten them. I definitely don't want to pick it up that way. I'm gonna need 2 hands for this. Hold on. Alright, so I rearranged a couple things in here. I got rid of all these buckets and stuff that was in the way. So now my air compressor's over here, transmission's in here, headlight, axles. I took them apart because one of them was stuck together with the intermediate shaft. That stuff's still there, how that is. We got a turbo on the floor now. We have a head, and all this is now clean. So, now, I'm still going through all my tools, but I just want to show how much nicer the workspace is now. So much more room. And then I'll be taking this on the floor and I'll be pulling this off because while I was in there, again, I found the coil bolts. So I'll put those back in the coil so I don't lose them. Obviously there's nothing really, you know, I could take the coil out right now if I wanted to. So what we're gonna do is take the 1 bolt in the back, the 5 8mm in the front, take the upper manifold off, put the coil in, put the 8 mils back in, and hop back here and take a look at the exhaust side. Hold on, this thing hasn't ran in forever, and excuse me, what is this? Oil. What? Okay. Okay. Shots. This is loose. But now I found the bolts for it. So, take the 4 10 mils and drop them in each corner. Grab the impact and send her down. Okie dokie. So, I got the exhaust manifold on. Lighting's not too good. There we go. Only 9 bolts in because this one snapped off. And I bought the car. I swear to God, I was changing something with I was inspecting the turbo. I pulled the intake off, and I'm like, that's a weird loose bolt. Why'd that sitting down here? And I look up, and then there's this, and I'm like, darn nabbit. So yeah, there's that. There's where the turbo goes, and here's the little turb skull. I mean, she looks pretty beat up. I might pull this compressor housing off to inspect the other wheel because this one looks way more beat up. And I can literally see metal flakes. So we're gonna pull off this wastegate, which I guess I already hand tightened it, and then figure out if we can get down in here. So I did this the smart way because it was a little stuck. I decided to put it back on the exhaust to get the oil feed off. And so this darker side has more flat, goes to the turbo, and then this kind of more like a compression fitting side goes to the feed line. So take this off again and see if I can get snap ring pliers down there to pull this compressor housing off. And also, this is why people hate putting in blow-off spacers, because the 3rd bolt, you see where my finger is? All the way down and under here. This is where that 3rd bolt is. Why would they? Yeah, it sucks. There's your wastegate. It actually seals all the way, so that's a good sign. So I'll pull the turbo back off now again, and I'll put this over here. The other connectors. I'm gonna look for the oil feed line if I can put that back in the oil feed line so I don't lose it. Yeah. Alrighty, so I got the snap ring off, and I haven't even opened it yet, so that's gonna be fun. I probably have to get this off and then I'll be right back. Anyway, I got the snap ring off. A little tricky. I marked the one blue line where the coolant ports are and the other where the oil feed is, and let's try and get this out now. Alright, still haven't opened it, but I got it free, I think. Yes, I did. Ooh, baby turbo. Uh-oh. That's worrisome. Okay. That corrosion, or what is that? I mean, you can see there's... Come on. Oh my god, I swear to god, this camera. You can see that there is definitely some wear and tear on this thing. Jeez, alright. You think you need a new turbo cartridge? Or you think I should just go billet turbo? Big stock wheel. I mean, look at that. That is sparklies. A good amount of them. I'm pretty sure. That's sparklies. Yeah, it's like oil soaked, and then, yeah. Compressor housing looks fine though. I don't see any like scoring against it. That's a good sign. The turbine has the shaft that runs all the way through. The compressor has the nut on it. Do I try and take it apart and see if the bearing is scored? You need a special wrench too. Or actually, you need a star, like star 12, and then I'm assuming like that looks like a 9mm. Weird sizes. Wiggle it with my fingers. A little baby bit. It's probably not going to focus on it. It's enough that you can definitely feel it. I don't know about see it. Any in and out. No in and out shy play, just side to side. And it's not crazy, but it's enough that you can hear it clicking. Let me see if I can get close enough. You can maybe hear it. Here's clicking side to side. Dang it. That whirring sound is this. There's a little metal washer. It's still, the turbo still spins fine. It's just, I don't know, that's normal in my opinion. Well, it wasn't tight, so you pretty much hold the turbine wheel with a 10 and you get a 12 and you get an 8 on the compressor wheel. The little washer. It should just be able to pull off the compressor wheel. I need 2 hands for this one. Oh, actually, I think it's threaded to the compressor wheel. So let me put the 12 back on here. Is that a good view? Probably not. Yeah, so it's threaded to the compressor wheel. Is it? Or is it not? Is it just being a darn... Oh no, it just came right off. Okay. Pretty much you pull it right off. I mean, it's not like worn too bad in any way. You can definitely tell, Yeah, that's not good. If you see a turbine wheel like that, I mean a compressor wheel, oof, oofa doofa. Here's a little, yeah, let's take this wrench off here. Stand it up. Alright, so there's the cartridge in there. Probably can't see too well. This shaft should be able to slide out. Alright, take the nut off. That with the compressor wheel, I should be able to now pull this turbine out. Yeah. I think that snap ring is to get this front plate off. I'm not going to really remove that. Again, how black it is. Carbon. Here's a shaft. It's been separately. I don't know if that's part of the bearing assembly. And then it's just such a light, it's not light, it's decently heavy for a little baby one, but still. I'm going to wipe it off and we're going to take a look at it again. I am going to assemble the cartridge back together so I don't lose anything, as I always do with everything, so yeah. So as you can see, my turbo is pretty beat up. Those metal shards are a little concerning to me. I'll probably go with a turbo bay, BWS turbo, which is like a billet stock wheel. It's supposed to reach, what, 350 horsepower, I think? 400, I think? Yeah, it's 400 horsepower. So yeah, I don't know where to go from here. Pretty much my entire motor is shot. So I guess we'll be buying either probably a short block, and then get ahead and build it up from there. But there goes my basic build out the window, you know. So anyway, yeah, I don't know what the next video is going to be on, but hopefully something cool is going to happen. Hopefully. I'm going to pray on it, but we'll see. But please like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.